Build AI apps with Python in NeoVim. Episode 9. File System Tools. Until now, Claude tools returned data. Currency rates, weather, time. But what if Claude could actually change things? Create files, read documents, list folders. This is where AI starts interacting with your real file system. Real-world actions. Today, 3 file tools. Write, read, and list. Claude manages your files. A new file. Claude gets file system access. Episode 9. Tools that interact with the real world. OS module is new. It provides file system operations like creating folders and joining paths. JSON for tool results. Same as episodes 7 and 8. .env and Anthropic. The foundation we build on every episode. OS is built-in. No pip install needed. Load key, create client. Same 2 lines every time. Work_dir defines a safe workspace folder. A sandbox. Without it, Claude could write anywhere. Makedirs creates the folder if it does not exist. Exist_OK prevents errors if it already does. Tool 1. Read file. This lets Claude see what is inside any file. The function takes a path string, just a file name like hello.txt. os.path.join combines the workspace path with the file name. Keeps files inside our safe folder. Safety check. If the file does not exist, return a clear error message to Claude. Return an error dictionary so Claude knows the file was not found. Open the file in read mode. The R flag means read text, not binary. Return the file path and its content as a dictionary. Claude sees this data and can describe it. Tool 2. Write file. This is the big one. Claude can create files on your computer. Two parameters, Path and content. Claude decides both the file name and what goes in it. Same path joining pattern. All writes stay inside the Workspace folder, no escaping. Open with W mode. W creates the file if new, or overwrites if it already exists. File.write sends the content string into the file. One line does the actual writing. Return the path, status, and byte size. Claude knows the write succeeded. Tool 3. List directory. Claude can see what files exist before reading or writing. The function definition. Default path is dot, meaning the workspace root. os.path.join again. Same safe path pattern for every tool. Same exists check for safety. Return a clear error if the path is invalid. os.listir returns a list of file names in the directory. Simple but essential. Return the items and count. Claude knows exactly what files are available. Save progress. 3 file tools ready. Now the dispatch dictionary. Maps tool names to Python functions. Read file, write file, list directory. 3 entries, 3 functions. Same pattern from episode 8. The dispatch approach scales to any number of tools. Three real-world tools connected. 1 dictionary lookup runs the right one. Now we describe all 3 tools to Claude with JSON schemas. Read file. 1 required parameter, the path. Simple schema for a simple tool. The description says read contents of a file. Claude matches read questions to this tool. Path is a string. Claude provides the file name it wants to read. Required means Claude must provide the path. It cannot call read file without specifying which file. Write file, two required parameters, path and content, the only tool with two required fields. The description says create or overwrite. Claude knows this tool changes the file system. Path is first. Then content, a string. Whatever Claude writes here goes into the file. Content is the second property. Claude generates the text that will be written to disk. Both path and content required. Claude provides file name and file body together. List directory. One optional parameter, the path. Defaults to the Workspace root. The description says list files and folders. Claude uses this to explore before reading or writing. Three tool schemas in one list. Claude sees all three at once and picks the best match. Descriptions guide Claude. Schemas validate the parameters. Together they prevent mistakes. Save the tool definitions. 3 schemas ready for Claude. The ask function. Same reusable wrapper from episode 8. The function definition takes a question string. Print the question so we can see what Claude is working on. Messages.create with the tools parameter. Claude sees all 3 file tool definitions. Haiku model. Fast and affordable for tool use. Max tokens limits the response length. Past the tools list, Claude sees all 3 file tool schemas. System prompt says respond in plain text, no markdown. The user message. 1 question per API call. Close the create call. Response comes back with tool user text. If Claude uses a tool, extract the tool use block. Find the tool use content block. It tells us which function Claude chose. Dispatch lookup. Dictionary maps the name to the function. Execute the function with Claude arguments. Double star unpacks the dictionary. Print which tool was chosen. This lets us verify the right tool ran. Print the result dictionary. This is the data we send back to Claude. Send the result back to Claude so it can write a natural language answer. Same model and token settings for the follow-up call. Max tokens again. Consistent across both API calls. Pass the tools list again, so Claude has context. Same system prompt for both calls. The message history tells the full story: original question, tool call, and tool result. First message, the user question. Second, Claude response with tool call. Third, the tool result we are returning. ID matches the original tool call. Close the second create call. Claude writes a friendly answer. Print the final answer. Claude turns raw file data into a friendly response. The else branch handles questions Claude can answer without any tools. Three questions that test all three tools in a logical order. First, create a file called hello.txt. Claude should use write file. Second, what files are in the workspace? Claude should use list directory. Third, read the contents of hello.txt. Claude should use read file. Save and run. Claude used write file. Hello.txt created successfully. The file actually exists on your hard drive. Claude wrote to your file system. Claude used list directory. It found hello.txt in the workspace. Claude used read file. It read back the content it just wrote. 3 tools, 3 correct choices. Write, list, read. Full cycle. G. Back to top for a final review. Recap. 3 key takeaways. First, file tools let Claude interact with the real file system. Read, write, and list. Second, a workspace directory keeps operations safe. All paths are relative to it. Third, same dispatch pattern from episode 8. Real-world tools work exactly the same way. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more AI tutorials. Next episode, multi-step toolchains.